It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
This is one I've had personal experience with. This is what dealing with executives and other people who are very optimistic on their employer. You can, investing all in one place can be devastating to your financial life.
You know, one that breaks my heart about this, Brian, is we see this in two forms. We see in one form, people who do it on purpose. They actually try to do this. And then the other one is people don't even realize they are in this situation where they are way overly concentrated to a single company and they had no idea about it.
I get a visual because this is, we went and saw a speaker this morning and he was visualizing how things started. Like he talked about the tortoise and the hare.
You can say who it was, I think.
It was Malcolm Gladwell.
We went and
so we
heard
got to go
Malcolm
see
Gladwell
Malcolm Gladwell speak this morning. He's got a new book. Makes me want to go out there and immediately start listening to it. But it does, now that he's got me visualizing all these anecdotal things we say, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, can you imagine somebody is walking down the street with a basket full of eggs. They trip over and they fall. Egg yolks are everywhere. And after the laughter stops, somebody goes, "You shouldn't keep all your eggs in one basket." You just know that there is a visual of that happening, that happened sometime in history, that became a saying.
That's where it came from.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, guys, it is the same way with your personal capital, meaning what you can go make your wages on, and then your investment capital, which is hopefully what's going to create financial independence for you, is that you do not need to have them both lined up at the exact same place. That is a recipe for absolute disaster.
Brian, you already mentioned this. You said that when bad things happen, they tend to be bundled, right? They tend to happen all at once. So just imagine yourself in that scenario where not only is the economy going down and your company specifically is getting hurt because of that, but in addition to that, the value of your RSUs are going down, the value of your options are going down, maybe the value of the stock you hold inside your company 401k is going down. All those things are happening. And then at the world's worst time, your company has to start making layoffs. You are in a just very dire position that could have been avoided or at least diversified against to an extent.
Well, and we had some stats because, you know, we're nerdy enough. We had Daniel go pull it. Enron employees lost $850 million when the stock market crashed. WorldCom, their 401k went down $775 million because what the problem was is that the employees had half of their retirement accounts in these companies' stocks. So not only did they lose their livelihood when they lost their jobs from these companies going under, but they lost their financial assets as well. That is an absolute disaster, so be very careful of that.
When we talk about the journey to financial independence and building wealth and building wealth and building wealth, we always focus on the early stages of like what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do. As you begin to have some success and get closer and closer to financial independence, it becomes a lot more about not screwing it up. And what I think is so crazy about the WorldCom and Enron examples is there were a lot of very wealthy, very successful, I would argue financially independent folks who just didn't take the care to not screw it up.
Yeah, I mean, and this, it doesn't have to just all be working for a big public company too. I talk to my real estate developers, my builders, my home builders, entrepreneurs. I'm like, you are doing so well, you're so successful. Please diversify. Spread out where your capital is housed so that you're not putting everything in that one basket. Now forever, you'll have that visual of the poor person falling over, crowd laughing, and then the guy out there going, "Shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket." I mean, it really is something to think about.